When it comes to flipping properties, one of the biggest challenges for the back end is whenever you're going from one year to the next year in tax season. Because it's not like you can buy a property in December and then write the whole thing off that year. You have to move things around on the back end. And that's where a lot of investors start getting confused on how to handle it. Because what you have to do is whenever you record it, you do all the purchase prices, all the rehab, and all the stuff that you do on a rehab throughout the year. You put that as cost of goods sold, right? That puts it on your profit and loss statement, and you can see clearly exactly how, you can see the amount of work that you've done on the property, how much you spent on it, and then if you sell at a price, you can see what you're going to profit. But the problem comes whenever you go past to the next year. You can't leave it on the profit and loss statement. Your CPA is going to want you to move that from the profit and loss over to the balance sheet and into inventory. Not a fixed asset, it's a current asset. It's going to go into inventory. So you're moving that, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I have no idea how much I'm spending or how much I'm profiting. I have no idea because I had it all on profit and loss and it made sense, but now it's over on the balance sheet. What do I do? The biggest thing that you can do in this situation is utilize a feature in QuickBooks called Projects. Projects is an awesome feature in QuickBooks that you can, simultaneously, put it onto the profit and loss when you first do all the purchasing and all the rehab and stuff. Put it there, and then also put it in the Projects tab. That's because now you can move it from your profit and loss over to your balance sheet, and it's still, all of your work and stuff is still going to stay on the project sheet, and you'll be able to see exactly where you're at profit wise, where you're at spending wise, and everything. But you have to be able to utilize it, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So let's hop in. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you're in here, you're going to come down here, and I'll just show you a project that I've been working on. I've just put in some numbers pretty much just to put an example in here. But this right here is the Projects tab. So I've got my flip right here, my purchase price, my buying costs, my holding costs, and the debt service. So this is right here is what we're looking at for all of the costs that we've had to do. So all of these right now are in cost of goods sold. But what happens whenever I need to move it? Let's see, let's go to custom reports. I'll show you the profit and loss. Profit and loss. And you'll be able to see that it's the exact same thing over here. Right here you can see all the numbers underneath the 365 Central. You can see that all the numbers here make sense. It adds up just the same, and everything's good to go. But the problem comes whenever you need to move this during tax time, or whenever you want to make your profit and loss look a little bit better for a lender or something. You need to move these over to the balance sheet. So what you'll do is come in. This isn't exactly how to do. You'll create another journal entry, but this is the journal entry I did for the purchase. And what you're going to do is you're going to credit it all from all of these to put it on the balance sheet, and you're going to have the exact same categories, but you're going to have it inside of your asset. It's going to be a current asset instead of here we have it as cost of goods sold. We're going to put it in the current asset into inventory, and we're going to instead, you're going to name it the exact same thing, purchase price, but instead it's going to be right here. Wait. Purchase price right here, sub-account of flips. So the purchase price right here. So this is what it's going to be. You're going to have an overarching sub-account, and it's going to show that this is going into current asset instead of on here. But then that means that these numbers, once you move it over to the balance sheet, back one more, these numbers are going to be gone. They're no longer going to be here, and this total cost of goods sold is going to be gone. So your profit is not going to look quite right. It's not going to look like it needs to. You're not going to know exactly what you're doing, and that's what the projects come in, because you can see that when we drill down into these, that I have labeled each one of these with a name. What this name does is gives you an opportunity to create the project spot. So you got a name or the customer right here, and then below that, the sub account is going to be in the projects. So you're going to be able to click that, and that's what's going to put it onto your projects tab. You also need to do it by class, but this is what's going to go in and put it into the projects tab so it doesn't move whenever you have to move it over to the balance sheet. That is the biggest key difference here. That way you're not getting confused as to what you're doing. You have everything right here, and it's not going to move as long as whenever you move it over to the balance sheet, you don't add the projects. Just leave the projects alone and it won't move. But here, this is all going to stay the same. And this is what a lot of flippers are going to want to see like, okay, if I sell it, you can do a phantom sale and put something in here. If I sell it at this price, minus this price, this is what my profit's going to be. And this is including all of your money costs, all of your purchase price, everything. Because you can't just do, your rehab costs minus your sales price and that's your profit. That's not really how it works. You also have to put in the money costs. You got to put in interest. You got to put in the utilities, for the times you've held it, for all of it, all the stuff you got to add in there, because all of that stuff is going to eat at your margins. So you need to calculate that into there. And that's exactly what QuickBooks does. And that's why, utilizing these projects tabs is so key in order to keep your stuff, in line. And that way, whenever you come to that sell price and you do sell it, you're not thinking, oh, I made $30,000 in profit, perfect. But then when you really dive deep down into it and you minus out all the money costs, you actually only profited $18K. Those are big. That's a big difference and a big number that you need to know to a T. This is what I do. My name's Garrett. I'm a QuickBooks Pro advisor, and if you need help with this, check out my link in the description down below, and we'll see if we can work together. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.